now.
What day? Today is Friday.
Is it Friday?
Big weekend.
Really?
Really.
Get ready to turn your clocks back 1 hour this Sunday.
This weekend, you're going to need to turn your clock back 1 hour.
Daylight saving time.
I thought we were literally saving daylight.
Set all of our clocks back.
The change happens at 2 a.m. Sunday.
You gotta set clocks back.
Should have changed your clock.
Which way does it go?
Spring forward, fall back.
It's showtime.
Did you... Was this the lead-in, or did you choose this song, Brendan?
No, this is actually part of it.
It's part of it?
Yes.
If I could turn back time. I have not been drinking. I have not been smoking. I have not taken anything this morning. I just find that funny. Very, very funny.
Well, it's perfect. Falling
If
back.
I could turn back time. Do it tomorrow at 2 a.m. in the morning. Daylight saving time.
No S's.
There's no S's. Never has been.
Take off the last S for savings.
Just like Governor Parson is not Parsons. It's Parson, Eric. Eric, when you show up, it's Governor Parson. He likes to say Parsons all the time.
Does he shop at the Aldi's?
Yeah. Well, you can go to, I'm going to Aldi.
I'm going to Aldi.
Yeah, I guess that would be. I would probably be guilty of that.
I'm going to the Aldi's.
I would say the Aldi's. I'd say I'm going to Aldi's.
Mm.
Aldi's. Parson.
Kroger's.
Kroger's. Oh, that is funny as hell. Welcome to Friday Morning Show, everybody. Eric Johnson will be here in a bit. Brendan Shanahan, who is now our permanent Friday host. You're locked in for Fridays now, right?
Fridays for good.
I think you're in there. Right, have you been told that by Chris?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because Chris is lazy on Fridays. He bowls on Thursday nights. I couldn't believe people still bowl.
Oh my God!
And
it's still it's the largest recreational sport in America.
I was just trying to set you up. I was trying to see if I could get
me riled.
Get you riled up.
Get my ire up.
Okay, tell me about bowling again. You were telling me about how your balls are weighted.
I have weighted balls.
The inner portion of your balls are weighted. You had no idea. So you had to plug your ball so that you could get maximum performance.
There's new rules that I did not know of. And if you bowl with two hands or without your thumb, you need to only have finger holes, no thumb holes.
Bowling. I mean, I guess I'd go to a bowling alley. I don't know. I just haven't been forever. And
oh, it is not everything that it was growing up. Like I remember going to, family like bowling league night on Thursdays. It's nothing but cigar smoke and, there's always side bets going on, things like that. The beer frame happens on the fifth frame. But
the beer frame, what does that mean?
So whoever has the lowest score in the fifth frame buys a round of beers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Well, we're all cut up. It's good to hear you, man. Welcome to Friday's show, everybody. It's 8:05. November 5th. It's going to be a beautiful weekend weather-wise throughout the St. Louis area. Not sure how it's going to be wherever you might be listening. I know you're all over the place when it comes to the country, even people outside of this country who listen to the show, but we appreciate it nonetheless. How about this, waking up on a Friday morning? One of our stories that was the lead story on fox2now.com, shots fired in Ladue on a residential street. I just called my friend. He lives on the street.
And it didn't wake him up?
No, he had no idea. There were shell casings found on the street. We were talking. He's like, man, what? He's like, I thought you were calling to, like, joke around with me about something. He's like, that's pretty serious. I'm like, don't worry. Nobody was shot. It was just shots were fired. Shell casings were there. A woman heard it. Said, nothing's like this has ever happened since I've lived here since 1967.
Wow. Since 1967.
Yeah, it's right. Literally right next to Ladue High School. Right next to Ladue. The street, right to the first street to the south of Ladue High School.
Everybody on that street probably has Ring doorbell cameras. So I'm sure they can figure out where it came from or what happened, maybe.
I don't know. I have to wait and see. Bowling, theme bar. Bowling. I was on a church league team. It's like I just think of bowling as like a 60s, 70s, 80s sport or something.
Nah,
Is it a sport or is it kind of like an activity?
no, it's a sport.
Really?
Yeah, it's in the Olympics. It's an Olympic sport.
Bowling? Yeah, I guess it would be.
It's
But it's kind of like darts. I don't look at it as a sport. It's more like a skill.
well, I'll tell you what. If you bowl 3 games a night, rolling a 16-pound ball, that's thinking about that.
Oh, yeah. That sounds brutal.
It's it's
Yeah, you know
it'll
what?
get to you.
I get you. If
You're fat and you can still play a sport professionally, don't get me wrong.
It doesn't
I'm a
seem like
fat
you
guy.
need much cardio for bowling.
Well, you got to walk back and forth up the steps to get your nachos.
You're thinking like the Big Lebowski. Yeah, I know. If you darts, it could really be. You could really get like carpal tunnel in your hands. I know from like squeezing a dart and like having to throw.
Have you ever played darts?
And yeah, I have. And
I can tell you're very good by the motions that you're doing.
oh.
It looked like you're a French guy blowing kisses.
Mwah. Bocce ball is more fun in my opinion.
Well, what's the difference?
Paddle ball is really cool too.
Is bocce ball a sport and bowling not?
Same thing. I think it's the same thing.
Well, I mean, they're very close. You've seen the.
I'm watching myself.
Now,
on the
Eric has
delay
been
on
out
Facebook.
to Chris's
Eric-
bowling night before.
Eric, welcome to the show on this Friday morning.
You've seen
Good
the
to see you.
physiques of all the people that are out there bowling.
Yeah. They're not good.
Right. But you also see that they're also doing things like, throwing that's a pretty heavy ball.
Hey, I'm there.
that
I'm
some of
there.
them are whipping down
Hey,
there.
I'm there for this sport. If you can drink White Russians,
Down
so
with it.
that-
Why
that's
wouldn't
from-
you?
I think it's the age-old question: is it a game or is it a sport? Is golf a game or is it a sport? Is
it's a game.
international level ping pong a sport or is it a game?
Yeah, if you can drink beer and White Russians and smoke cigarettes,
But you do that playing softball too,
No, you
right.
don't.
Yes, you do.
So softball's another one.
I
Who's
guarantee you.
smoking cigarettes playing softball?
Me.
Oh my lord!
Well, nobody said you're an athlete though, and you're like
I was a
playing
college
softball.
athlete, Vic. I played college football.
You weren't smoking cigarettes
Not on
while you
the
were
bench,
playing
you
college
weren't.
football. You're not an athlete anymore, buddy.
Well-
you have your glory days like I do.
Sure.
God, this is hot tub time machine in here
Oh,
right
my
now.
God.
It is hot tub time machine. But no, ask yourself this: is chess a sport? I mean, they have international competitions. Is it a sport or is it a game?
It's a game.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't think
But
those
guess
guys
what?
would
In
call
the
it
end,
a
it
game.
doesn't
Golf?
matter. It doesn't matter if it's a sport or if it's a activity. It's.
I mean,
competition.
football is a
It's an
sport.
activity. It's fun.
It's like you put it on this line, this 1 to 10 line. Is it a sport or a game? Football is a 10.5. It's a game. It's a
I
sport.
especially
Absolutely.
believe golf is a
Sport.
sport if you're walking.
Okay.
Okay.
I believe golf is a sport right on the 5. It's right in the middle. It's kind of a
Damn.
game. You can
When I walk, as opposed to doing a cart, man, it is a world of
Oh
difference.
yeah.
Different.
It's 3-4 miles you're walking plus,
You know
and
what
if you're
the-
not any
you-
good,
you know what the-
you see more of the course.
You know what the new thing is, and I know we got to get to a lot of stuff.
Yes,
the
we
new
do.
thing is arena-based. What is it? The like PS5 games, the virtual games.
Yeah.
Where they put it on the big screens. There's going to come an era where they don't even know what a bowling ball is. You just you just put your virtual headset on and you're playing inside of that. That is huge right now.
I'm all for White Russians. Sorry.
You
I just-
you can't get past the White Russian,
Glenn,
can you?
Glenn Thompson had me at White Russians. I haven't had White Russians in years. Those sound great.
Yeah, I think if it's something you do,
I think I'm going to have a White Russian after my son's football game tonight.
That is the most disgusting drink ever. It's like milk and vodka.
It's milk, Kahlua,
Yeah, love
vodka.
I
Love
wouldn't
it.
drink a purple hooter anymore ever again. Man, what's wrong with you? Come on,
Oh, my
stop
God.
being like that.
it. Speaking of which, coming up at 9:00, Eric has his debate hour with the John Parker.
I don't want it to be a debate.
John Parker, longtime Eric adversary
and friend.
and friend, according to Eric, will be in studio today from 9 to 10 o'clock. Line up your questions. We'll talk about anything you want to talk with him. He's also thrown his hat in to defeat Tashard Jones. He wants to be St. Louis City mayor. We've
Weirder
been
things
talking
have
with
happened in
John
the last
about race
week.
relations for the last year and a half to 2 years. We've been talking to him about COVID. We've been talking about Republicans and Democrats and so forth. Game on, brother. Game on.
And he's got $150 to do it.
I hope he shows up today at 9 o'clock.
He might.
We've reserved a seat for him, and it's his time.
I had
John
an idea.
Parker is probably on his way to the studio now.
He's on his way to get a pedicure first, and then come over to the studio.
Yeah, that's true. He is not bringing his conservative fiance. He told us that yesterday, that his fiance is not conservative.
Well,
Vic, honest question from the Facebook Live. Do you think that politicians take a special instruction course or are trained on how to be a politician?
No.
The way they talk and bob and weave and avoid answers, they sure don't talk or act like normal people. Thanks. Many don't. I agree with you. Some do. No, there's not a course, but I think the whole nature of the business forces you, and this is what's bad about politics. Another reason why I never got into it, despite people still asking me as of a few months ago to please get involved, why we tell Eric to get involved, is because sometimes people don't like their direct answers, and you just piss people off. And in this day and age, because everything is so on edge, people can't believe that somebody would not agree with them, and they can't just find a way to work it out, like Joe Manchin has talked about. Wait a second, let's sit down and try to find out how we can move things forward despite our differences of opinion. So I think that's what forces people who are in politics to maybe bob and weave a little bit, not give direct black and white answers all the time, because they're going to piss somebody off, they're going to alienate a bunch of people, or be taken the wrong way.
And you nailed it. You nailed it. I tell you what, this guy up in Buffalo who just won the senatorial seat, he spent $150. He beat the incumbent that was the president of the Senate up in Buffalo, New York. And he basically just said, look, he came out, I think he did like one YouTube video. He's a truck driver, and that's what people are hungry for right now. I do think that, I don't think people you don't have to be mandatorily trained, but they have consultants. And I think consultants have killed this planet. I really do, all across the board. People just want to get back to the issues. They don't care about the skeletons in your closet. That's why I think, Vic, you would be a fantastic politician. I think you would be great. I think that you come across as likable. I think you come across as you're able to ride the fence and see both sides of the issue. And it's natural for you. I don't know. I honestly don't know if you're super Republican or super Democrat. I have no idea. And I think that's a trait that Joe Manchin is kind of showing right now. You don't know what he is on camera. You feel like this guy could be a Republican. And look at it, but he also sticks out, he wants to be a blue dog Democrat as well. So do you have to go through training? No, you don't have to go through training. Sometimes you just have this natural skill. But I'll tell you what, in this day and age, it is super hard not to get on Twitter and say one wrong thing. And then that's what blows up.
Absolutely.
So you got to be damn careful. That's why someone like me could never run. I'm sorry, I say so much stuff that gets out there in the Twitter sphere. I'd probably just go day one, bye. Don't forget to write.
Okay.
I'm Vic Faust for Fox 2 News. Eric Johnson has been canceled.
Yes. He canceled himself.
That's the end of the story. By the way, Missouri and 10 other states file suit against business vaccine mandates. Joe Biden has come out now. He said, well, I didn't want to do this, but not enough people are vaccinated, so now I'm going to force it. That's frustrating a lot of people. Mercy Hospital beginning vaccinated kids ages 5 to 11 today. Mercy's there if that's something that you're in or you're all about. Have fun with that. There's also a hearing being held today for a man accused of killing Tyler Timmons, the Pontoon Beach police officer. And believe it or not, a story on fox2now.com, Del Mar Loop restaurants seem to be thriving amid the pandemic, so at least there's some good news over in that part of the area. And also the Blues last night playing a late game. They killed me again. I fell asleep. I was going to bed, woke up just to see the very end, saw an empty net goal. The Blues, 7-1-1 to start the season. They win again last night. One of the best teams in the NHL, and they're playing without 4 players. and they started their third-string goalie, and they still won. Good news all the way around for the St. Louis Blues. So those are some of the headlines that are going on today. And then when it comes to a national standpoint, here we go. Here we go. Top House Democrats expect that they will have the votes today to pass both the bipartisan infrastructure bill and their massive reconciliation spending bill by today. Now, they can only lose 3 votes. Excuse me. And
She
still
knows
pass the bill.
something. She knows something. That
Well,
Nancy
she wouldn't.
Pelosi
Yeah,
lady.
well, she wouldn't be putting herself out there like this if she didn't.
And it's kind of illegal because they need 72 hours to actually read the damn thing. They're not getting that.
And Republicans are still coming out publicly and saying they think it's going to fail. They think they have the votes to make it fail.
They don't even have a CBO score. CBO is the financial branch of this, the agency that looks at this thing, and they do not have the financial scoring. They're saying they're passing a $1.7 trillion social infrastructure package, and they think, look at how moderate this is. Nope. The CBO came back and said it's actually more like, it's not the CBO, it's another agency, but they said it's more like $4 trillion. $4 trillion in sneaky, data sheets. I mean, it's really sad what's going on right now. I don't think it's going to pass. This is Nancy Pelosi's way of saying, look, I tried to do something. I don't suck as bad as you say I do. So it's just, why don't you just settle down? And why don't you just be like Joe Manchin, look at the bill, try to put something out there that doesn't make everybody sick to their stomach.
Another big story that hit yesterday, there was an arrest in the Russian dossier fake report. Yes, that's right. I'm sorry. If you were against Donald Trump and believed it was true, it was all fake, and there's been an arrest because it was so bad. So bad. So where is that going to go now? Will there be a conviction in that situation? Very, very, very interesting. We'll get into that. Also, I love this, and we'll have to come back with the Let's Go Brandon song. But apparently the left are very outraged. Very, very outraged. It's irking liberals. They can't stand it. Madonna, get a life. Snoop Dogg, why don't you go sober up somewhere, dog? Dog. Nobody cares about you, Snoop. Sorry, your history, brother.
Bow, wow, wow.
Robert De Niro. Yeah, all stars with a history of anti-Trump rhetoric, all going out there against the president, saying bad things, saying cuss words. So then they get all upset about a Let's Go Brandon song? Come on.
What exactly happened? What are they saying?
Come on.
That they're just disgusted by the little people saying "Let's go, Brandon." I didn't see the story. What is the story exactly?
Yes.
It's so hypocritical, though. It's so hypocritical that people like Alec Baldwin can go on for 4 years of Trump's presidency and go on and just totally trash him on Saturday Night Live and make him look like the biggest boob ever.
Well, apparently the left is all saying that this is so horrible bad, but the left didn't say anything when Madonna said they needed to blow up the White House.
I remember that. And the pink hats.
Yeah,
remember
I mean,
those?
it's,
What a fashion statement that was.
I mean, and then Snoop Dogg, he shot a clown resembling Trump in a mock assassination music video.
Yeah, Kathy Lee Gifford with the old fake head.
Yeah,
Remember
I
that?
mean, so just think about some of those things that were out there. You know, Macklemore, when he was somewhat popular.
Who?
Exactly.
Who?
Led chants of
Now he
F
shops
Donald
at the thrift
Trump.
store because he has to.
My God. That coffee almost went up my nose. Dude, don't do that.
That's
I mean, these are things you don't report on. You're just so happy that it's happening right now. Let's go, Brandon. This is a snowball that's going down a hill. You're not going to stop it, and it's only going to get bigger.
hey, I just have to look down. Hey, Mark, you're misunderstanding, brother. You're letting your emotions get the best of you, buddy. Snoop is one of the biggest names in music, Vic. Please know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, so what?
absolutely. Absolutely is. You and I agree with that. But Snoop has no right to say anything when he was saying he was doing mock assassinations of the former president. Come on, Mark. You're making yourself look silly, brother. All right. I hope you have a good weekend, buddy. Clearly, your emotions are getting the best of you because you like Snoop. This isn't about Snoop's talent. This is
I
about
love Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Snoop?
Nothing.
You know what?
About his
I
talent.
think I would be, look, one of my
But
favorite guys
you
on the
don't
planet.
You don't get to have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, I love Pearl Jam. I love Pearl Jam. I think the musicians are great. I know what their political background is. I'm sure Eddie Vedder is going to be on some forum saying this is disgusting. I can't believe you guys are saying F Joe Biden or let's go Brandon. It will not make me not like Pearl Jam.
Exactly.
But my God, Eddie, some of the stuff I've seen you say on stage about George W. Bush or about Trump is unreal. Roger Waters is another guy like that. You know, they all want to
And
have
David
their
Michael
kiki
says Snoop Dogg's not even that great of a rapper anymore either.
Whatever. He's an icon. You cannot take that away from him.
He is absolutely he has transcended being a rapper. I mean, he's more of a spokesperson these days.
Yeah, he's a spokesperson.
Yeah, he's all over Corona.
Commercial
Yeah.
pitchman.
Him and Martha Stewart. Bow wow wow, yo. You know,
That was pretty good, Brandon.
That was great. That was a great Snoop Dogg.
Look,
thank you.
Here's the deal. We love political discourse on this show. We love that's why I'm excited to have John Parker in, because I want to do this today. Can we do this today? I don't want John to play the part of John Parker. I want him to play my part. And I'll play John Parker, and we'll see how that goes. I want him to hear how ridiculous some of the things that he thinks are.
It's a Freaky Friday.
It's a Freaky Friday. It's going to be you be me, I'll be you. Ask any questions you want, and I'll try to answer.
Isn't that a song, Brendan?
It is. It's a
and
Beatles
it's also
song.
a Jamie Lee Curtis in a movie, isn't it?
Exactly. And I will tell you how to destroy St. Louis even more. And he'll come across and say, damn, he'll tell us how to fix St. Louis because he'll be doing it from my mouth.
Something tells me that's not going to work out.
Why?
He'll be John and you'll be Eric.
I hate that idea.
And you'll deal with it from that standpoint. Hey, we'll find a way. Trust me, we can make it happen.
Isn't that what they do in marriage counseling? Here, you play him and you play her.
Yeah, we'll get puppets. We'll
Yeah.
get puppets into here too.
I did that for
Where
about,
did
I did
where
that
did
for
the
about
Democrat
a year.
touch
Did you really?
Show us where the
And I'm
Democrat
single.
touched you.
And you're single. You broke up. St. Charles is breaking up from St. Louis. Bye.
Yeah, exactly.
I want a divorce.
Tulsi Gabbard, one of my favorite Democratic politicians, came out with a huge statement post-election. We'll tell you what she had to say. Meghan Markle tried to make news and poke her nose in a bunch of places that it shouldn't be, that's for sure, using her title. Oh, my God.
What title is she? I thought it was stripped.
We'll get into that. And we'll also show you another Sam Page picture. If you're wearing a mask around in St. Louis County right now, more power to you, but the guy that is telling you need to isn't wearing one when he goes out. So just remember that. We'll show you this stuff when we come back. You're listening to The Edge with Eric Johnson, Brendan Shannon. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. The phone number to give us a call, 636-695-2915, 636-695-2915. Brendan, do you have some Snoop Dogg ready to go? I thought you were going to have some Snoop Dogg ready to go.
No.
You can catch us at viperrocks.com and, of course, on Facebook at 100.7 The Viper. Share the show. Back with more of the fastest 2 hours of morning talk radio after this.
You want it today? Yeah, sure. White Russian. Pass over there.
Oh, I like this.
Let's go, Brandon. Hey. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. You know what they saying, ho? Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. You know what they saying, ho? Let's go, Brandon.
This is the Edge Morning Show.
Live on 100.7.
The Viper.
Today, I'm taking it to the streets to give people the good news. Oh, excuse me. Hello. I'm Flo from Progressive, and did you know...
No, I'm just waiting for the bus.
So then you have time to hear about how with Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance.
Yeah, if I was interested in talking to you, which I'm not.
Okay, I'll do the talking, and you just check if you can be saving, which is going to be pretty hard to do if you put on your headphones. Okay.
See if you're paying too much for home insurance with Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations.
That's a no-whip, high-foam, 170-degree, sugar-free gingerbread latte.
Ah, yes. It's gingerbread latte season at Duchesne's Coffee Shop. He'll need a seasonal barista before his cookie starts to crumble.
Anything else? Oh, there's a list.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Art, sound, and sensory overload. Tool live. Friday, March 18th, Enterprise Center. Experience the sound and vision
of Tool. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Tool, brought to you by Jam.
Weber Chevrolet has been in business since 1902. No other car dealer in St. Louis of any brand can say that. Nobody sells more Chevrolet, period. Weber Chevrolet is one dealer with 3 roofs. In Missouri at Olive and 270, and in Illinois Metro East, Columbia, and Granite City. All easy to get to, just follow the 270 loop. Also, all online accessible at WeberChevrolet.com. Right now, Weber Chevrolet is open but very thorough in their cleaning, disinfecting, and social distancing rules. And don't forget, Weber Chevrolet service departments are award-winning and second to none. In fact, other dealers send their problems to Weber Chevy to fix. Now during this crisis, Weber Chevrolet has teamed up with Detroit to come up with awesome deals to help people save money and manage their budget. Discounts, incentives, and the ability to not make your payment for up to 4 months. Weber Chevrolet since 1902, WeberChevrolet.com.
Good morning, privates! Good morning, Drill Sergeant! I mean, seriously, what a pleasant morning. The sun is shining and the birds are chirping.
You seem to be in a good mood today.
Astute observation, Private. Astute.
He's probably happy because he found out Honey Nut Cheerios can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet.
So, in lieu of the obstacle course today, I propose a nice, meditative nature walk. Does that sound delightful to everyone?
Yes, Drill Sergeant! Have a change of heart with Honey Nut Cheerios. Learn more about Honey Nut Cheerios by picking up a box at your local store.
Midnight Auto Supply in St. Peters carries a full line of automotive parts and paints. They're a PPG Platinum distributor of automotive paint and industrial coatings and auto body shop supplies. For over 40 years, your hometown auto parts store is Midnight Auto. Stop in at Midnight Auto Supply in St. Peters, just off Mexico Road, 447-4000, 447-4000, on the web at mid-niteautosupply.com.
Lowe's Provember event is back, and we're thanking pros like you all month long. So when you become a Pro Loyalty member, now through November 24th, you'll get a welcome kit via mail, Lowe's bucket included. It's all part of Provember, going on online and in stores. Lowe's, the new home for pros. New accounts only. More terms and conditions apply while supplies last. Visit Lowe's.com/ProLoyalty for details. U.S. only.
Here comes more of the Edge Morning Show.
Oh, let's hear it, Brendan.
Bow wow wow, yippee yo, yippee yay, bow wow wow wow.
I love it. That's awesome. And that's why he needs to stick to what he does best. It's
Why? Because I can do it. I'm going to crip walk back here, too. Yo, 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 VIC.
He's an entertainer. He's not a politician.
He's entertaining as hell.
Yeah. That's why we said.
He makes me giggle.
That's right. He's an entertainer. All right. Welcome back to the show, everybody. The fastest 2 hours of morning talk radio. Eric Johnson, Brendan Shanahan, and I'm Vic Faust. Hope you guys are having a great Friday. The phone number to give us a call when you want to is 636-695-2915. Time to catch up with our friend, the one and only Dr. David Tannehill from Mercy Hospital. Doc, thanks for joining us. How's life? You've been on a few vacations since the last time we spoke to you, or at least one, maybe two. I know you deserved it after all the time you've spent inside the hospital. Do you still have your big, long beard, or have you shaved that thing up?
It's funny you mentioned that. I do still have a beard. I'm flirting. Thanksgiving will be a year since I last trimmed it, and I'm flirting with putting something out there on social media where people can vote by donating to a couple of charities on whether they want me to shave it or keep it.
Now you
do
realize
a no shave November right now.
Yeah, it is.
That's why it's going to wait till the end of the month.
Now you do realize, and this is not a joke, with a beard, masks they don't work according to the experts. So does that?
That's been my joke, is that the beard is my filtration system.
Okay. Very interesting.
Damn, that would work too. I guarantee that would work. There is no doubt in my mind that damn thing would work. Yeah, for those who don't know, Tannehill's beard is really, really, really long. We got a couple things to get to. Mercy is allowing, or they start vaccinating kids today, 5 to 11. What's the status that you're seeing inside the hospitals right now, and more specifically where you are in the ICUs?
Yeah, so it's really settled down over the past, I'd say 6 weeks or more. And for the first time in months, last week, I track the number of ventilators that are in use across Mercy in all of our ICUs. That's in 3 different states, Missouri, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. And for the first time, we were under 200 ventilators in use for the first time in months. So it's really starting to slow down. And the number of patients that we're seeing in the ICU, there's still some, but it's not nearly what we had a couple months ago. I think where we're at now, I'm sort of speculating that what we're experiencing now is where we're going to stay. There's going to be this chronic low level of activity. And I'm hopeful that the big spikes that really challenge our resources is behind us.
Interesting. So Pfizer has a brand new COVID-19 pill that has cut the risk of being in the hospital by up to 93%. 93% from a pill. Do you know anything about this pill? Have you researched it yet? And what do you think about this as another tool?
Wait, I thought it's
box?
Merck's pill.
No, it's Pfizer's.
No, Merck just came out with a pill yesterday.
Fantastic. Well, Pfizer just announced a new one as well.
Aren't both of them ivermectin?
No, they're not ivermectin. They're not.
Horse to warmers.
We've had people who want to say that they are, and they say, well, you change one ingredient around, and then it's not ivermectin, but we'll let the good doc talk.
Do they do different things?
These are antivirals. Yeah, these are antivirals. And, I'll be honest, since what I do is ICU work, I may not be the absolute expert to ask that question about that pill. However, I have looked at it, and it does seem to be pretty impressive. And I'll be honest, I'm a little bit surprised that it doesn't have more buzz than it has, if you ask me, just whenever I look at both the lay mass media and the medical mass media. I don't see the type of buzz that I would think that this might generate. That being said, it's still early, and I think once we start seeing that really get out into the market, really get out into patients using it, and patients being prescribed it, and we start seeing actual real world data on its effectiveness, I suspect you'll see that buzz really grow.
Do consultants or salespeople or whatever, do they come into the hospital and present this to you? How does this work? How do you even know about a drug like this?
Well, it has to be approved first, and then it's at a higher level, right, Doc? And then it'll take time to make its way.
That's right. So it has to be approved first. The studies do show up in the literature. Myself and a lot of docs like myself, we basically sign up for email updates and the like, and we get information disseminated to us that way. Subscribe to various journals, that sort of thing. And so, it's pretty easy to see the information. The drug rep era is kind of behind us. There isn't the same sort of push with drug reps like we saw maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So there's a lot less of that. I don't remember the last time I saw a drug rep in the hospital, actually. But that doesn't mean that the information doesn't get to us. And we do still have some contact with industry just by way of email correspondence and social media contacts and that sort of thing. We do get information sent to us. And also, since we're constantly looking at, as an organization, we're constantly looking at how can we better treat our patients. It's a constant topic of conversation about, when these things come out, how are we going to use them? The infusions that people can get as outpatients for COVID, that's something that through the state of Missouri, there was a site that was set up at Mercy Hospital Jefferson, and we're starting to work on becoming more efficient at providing the infusion therapy to our patients at various sites throughout Mercy. So it's a constant subject that's being talked about regularly to make sure that we're doing the right things and doing it as efficiently as possible to treat as many people as possible.
We're talking with Dr. David Tannehill from Mercy Hospital. He runs and is in charge of a few different of Mercy's ICUs. You've been there from the get-go. By the way, and all the times that we've had you, I know it's been a while, and I mean this sincerely. I'm not trying to blow smoke up your you-know-what. Thanks again for everything that you do in that job. I know you guys couldn't have seen it. You didn't have a choice. You had to deal with it. But I know you've had no life for 2 years and have done your best to help save a lot of people. So right off the bat, thanks again with that, Dave. You're a friend, but thanks again for going through everything you've done in the hospital and the nurses and the first responders. From that standpoint, I know when it comes to this vaccine now being approved for kids 5 to 11, what do parents need to know about it? You shoot people straight. Are you really excited about this for kids 5 to 11? Because I'll be honest with you, I didn't know how I felt about this.
Yeah, I am. I think like I've said before, whenever I've met with you guys, the more people that get vaccinated, the better. And one of the things that we saw with the Delta variant and that surge over the summer was a big spike in kids getting sick. And so that wasn't something we had seen a whole lot. There was a smattering of stories here and there, but the pediatric population was really kind of spared. But that changed with the Delta variant, and it became a more dangerous situation. So really glad to see that there is now a vaccine that's available for 5 to 11-year-old kids. It's nothing but a good thing. And I'm glad that is there for those kids to get vaccinated.
As a physician, do you think it is wise that our leadership is mandating vaccinations all over the place, whether it's in the workplace or kids getting into schools or whatever it is? Do you think that it's wise, or do you think that we should bring in natural immunity into the conversation a little bit?
So that's a good question. As a physician and as a matter of public health and really what's best for the population, it's kind of hard to argue against the mandated vaccinations. However, the pandemic has become so politicized, and there's so much stuff that's been floating out there that causes people to have such strong reactions that actually, me personally, as an individual, not a huge fan of mandating the vaccination, particularly for the public. And the reason is, I don't have to forgive the nuance here, but the reason is just simply that as soon as you mandate it, that just adds more fuel to the fire for people that are opposed to it. And that's actually hurting the greater cause, which is to get as many people vaccinated as possible. And so it's a little bit of a complicated, convoluted answer. Now, I will say that in the healthcare setting, I'm 100% supportive of, in the healthcare setting, those of us that work in healthcare being vaccinated and making that mandatory. 100% supportive of that. I think that makes a lot of sense. It's really the right thing to do. And it's something that we've done for a long, long time with flu shots and a lot of other vaccinations. So why should this one be any different?
I think that
we work in healthcare, so it's a different deal.
This is so. I agree with you, it being political, but for me and a lot of the people that I talk to, including my physician, by the way, said it's not the flu virus. From what I understand, it's a different technology. It's live virus, and it goes in, and it's not. It's a little bit more organic, apparently. This new mRNA thing, it does seem to have some awkward side effects across the board, whether through kids or through other other abnormalities. So, is there a way you can say right now on the radio, this mRNA technology, it is safe. The side effects, don't worry about the side effects, and just go get vaccinated. I mean, because my physician has said the opposite. He said, you know what? I've seen some things with this thing that I do not like. And if you've had COVID, Eric, I would maybe recommend against it. I mean, he told me that. I mean, can you play the opposite side of the fence a little bit?
Yeah. The one thing about medicine and about science, kind of the whole point of the scientific endeavor, is there really are no absolutes. So different people can derive different opinions based on what they read and how they interpret the data and that sort of thing. I come down on the side of whenever I look at this and look at the data, and also draw from my own personal experience, both personally and professionally, I come down on the side of it absolutely being safe and being the right thing to do, and I encourage anyone and everyone to get vaccinated. The benefits of vaccination, both for the individual and for the greater public, far outweigh the risks. And I think the risks of vaccination are extraordinarily small, particularly as it pertains to any kind of severe issues, major issues. Yeah, sure, there may be some minor side effects and that sort of thing, but you can have minor side effects with Advil.
Yeah.
So it's the benefits far outweigh the risk, and I think we've got plenty of experience now and data to show that it's beneficial, and it's beneficial enough to support some of the strong stances like that people like us take about everybody needing to get vaccinated, and the data is strong enough to suggest that if our political leaders were to think, or employers were to think, that mandating vaccination is the right thing to do, that's a reasonable stance for people to take based on the data.
Dr. David Tannehill joining us from Mercy Hospital. I appreciate you coming on because you and I have talked off air, and you know that many people that are on the Facebook line for the show or call in don't agree with you, but you say you're still willing to come on and put out there what you want to put out there. You've told me before you're not just going to say something to keep a job. That's not you, and anybody that knows you knows that you're not just going to draw the company line. Is everything I've said accurate so far?
Yeah, that's absolutely accurate. I jokingly tell people that if something were to happen and somebody were to get upset with me at Mercy and fire me, I'd probably have a new job by noon tomorrow.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm not really interested in towing the company line. I'm interested in being the physician that is going to tell it to you straight on how I see the data.
And just for our listeners who are you like your guns too. You're a big Second Amendment guy. So I just want people to know that. A couple questions. We don't mandate flu shots in children. Come on, Doc. That was a comment somebody made to you. Any thoughts on that?
So let's see. No, we don't mandate flu shots in children. We're not mandating the COVID vaccine either, so I'm not sure I understand what the question is getting at.
I think that the mandate question for kids it's coming. It's definitely, there's a track record of them saying we're not mandating anything to now OSHA suing every business across the planet. Kids are next. So, I mean, do you think that it might be a bad idea to try to get these kids to get the vaccine? I think that what we're hearing here is it's the fog of we're in America, and when you hear about the social good, you're hearing about this sounds like socialism to me instead of people who want to be free to make their own decisions for their own families. Right. I think it's not political. It's more of this kind of you're on one side of the fence or not.
That, though.
Well, what I was going to say is one of the reasons that. I think from a public health standpoint, you want to make a case for mandating the COVID vaccination. I think you've got a leg to stand on. But I think the stuff that boils up because of the mandate, you're killing off some of the benefit that you might get from the mandate. And so the simplest way for me to describe it is I actually trust Americans to make the right choice.
Yes.
It may take them a while to make the right choice because Americans are smart and they want to feel like they've made the right decision based on their own how they've educated themselves, the advice that they've sought on their own, and that sort of thing. And I think the powers that be, they got a little impatient waiting for Americans to make the right choice to
we
get
heard
vaccinated.
That.
And so they pulled the trigger on the mandate stuff.
Well,
Doc, if it's a true vaccine, why are the vaccinated still being infected? That just can't be a variant. That's another question we just had.
Yeah, so good question. So it's very, very important to recognize that the vaccine, it does not, and frankly, is not intended to make it impossible for you to get infected. That's not how it works.
Or transmit it.
That's not scientifically possible to make it absolutely a never event that you would get infected or transmit the virus. What the vaccination does is it will decrease the chances of you getting infected, decrease the chances of you passing on the virus, and very importantly, dramatically decrease the chances of you dying and getting really sick.
Okay.
And so that's one of the things that I can understand why that is confusing to folks. Why do I need to get vaccinated? I may get infected anyway. Well, if you get infected and you've been vaccinated, you're going to be a lot less sick. You're going to generate fewer viral particles and therefore decrease your chances of spreading the virus to other people.
Have you seen in the ICU a confirmed COVID case and then later see that same person come in with another case of COVID-19?
I have. It's not very common, but it does happen. And I've seen both sides of the coin. I've seen folks where their second infection is much worse than the first infection, and I've seen folks where their second infection isn't as bad. In my own personal experience, I haven't seen a consistent signal one way or the other.
What about somebody who's been infected, been in the hospital, then vaccinated, and then another stint in the hospital? Have you seen that?
I don't know that I've seen that specific scenario. I have seen patients that have been vaccinated who have gotten sick and ended up in the hospital, ended up in the ICU. I have seen that. That does happen.
I was just wondering if, you combine, the natural antibodies of having COVID-19 and then getting vaccinated, and then if you get it again, what the efficacy of, COVID is to your body when it comes to that.
Yeah, I don't know that I know the answer to that. I don't know that anybody knows the answer to that. I think the population of patients that have gotten infected twice is pretty small. And then the population of patients who have gotten infected twice and there's vaccination somewhere in there is probably smaller. So I don't know that I've seen anything that's been published on that I could really stand on.
Hey, Dave, I'm
I'm
going to try to jump in. We got 3 minutes left real quick. I've had several people come on the Facebook line today and say, listen, we know people, Bears reporting shows, as Dr. David Tannehill looked at the amount of people suffering from blood clots, heart problems, and wishing they never got the jab. Have you experienced situations like that, seen anything like that, or not?
I haven't taken care of a single patient in all the days that I've been working in the ICU. I have not taken care of a single patient who had significant side effects from their vaccination.
Is that a thing that somebody would go into the ICU about? I mean, it seems like that's more of like you would go to a pulmonary specialist, or it would skip over the triage department and go right to a specialist. Is that maybe possible?
Hard to say. I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay.
I just know that I haven't seen anybody who's gotten really sick because of their vaccination.
Okay.
The VIRS database that comes up all the time, and it's very important to realize that the way the VIRS database works is if I get vaccinated and then I'm right-handed, and let's say all of a sudden I am left-handed, that's ridiculous, right? If I were to report that to the VIRS database, it would get reported as potentially being a side effect related to the vaccination.
Now I can read minds.
Well,
and throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. That would be the cool side effects of that.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I just want to go back one more time.
The VIRS database is nothing more than people say whatever they want to say as far as that they've had some sort of side effect, and then it's the job of the CDC sort through all of that information to try to figure out what's real, what's not real, is there something that's truly associated, et cetera. And one of the examples I'll point to, back in the wintertime, there was a real concern that people, in particular women, were at higher risk of developing brain blood clots, cerebral vein thrombosis. And that was being reported, and people were concerned that there may be something to that. But as they dug into the information and looked at the epidemiologic data and the scientific data in more detail and did some sophisticated analysis to try to figure out, is there truly an association or is it more coincidence? They ultimately determined that, yeah, it's probably more coincidence, and the risk of cerebral vein thrombosis is not increased by getting the vaccine. And I just use that as one example.
Yeah.
Well, it takes some very sophisticated analysis to look at the VIRS database and draw conclusions.
We got to get you back on again, Doc. We ran out of time with that to really get into some of the other issues. At some point in time, if we get you back on, would you be able to talk about this gain of function story that came out of China and the NIH?
Oh, man, I'd love to.
Yes! Yes!
Evil laugh insert
and all
here.
those people who hate Dr. Tannehill right now just might go, oh, wait a second, maybe he's not so bad after all. Hey, seriously, though, thanks again for joining us and being willing to put at least your perspective of what you see as a doctor inside the ICU throughout all of this. Are we going to see you, will I see you tomorrow out at the Junior Cadets 8th grade championship football game?
I'm still working, unfortunately. I'm actually working out of town at one of our ICUs that needed some help, so I'd love to, though.
You work nonstop. I'll keep you posted.
Go Cadets.
Such a friendly way of saying no.
Yeah, I'll give you an update. Well, our junior cadet family, who I met, we're tight knit, so we
I
try
understand. He's got better things to do,
And-
or other things to do.
and they play for the championship tomorrow. So
That's awesome. Good for them.
all right, thanks,
Go
Doc.
Cadets.
Have a great
All right, man.
weekend.
See ya.
All right, Dr. David Tannehill. Yeah, I mean, he certainly riles some people up. I know, and this is why you got to talk. You got to talk whether you agree or disagree. And we got to talk when we come back because John Parker's here. Longtime listener to the show.
Can you feel the energy? Can you feel it?
Not yet. I could use some, though. I hope he brings
Breathe
some
it
energy
in.
into the
Breathe it
studio
in.
with him. We're going to have a lot of things to talk about during the next hour. If you have any questions, feel free. Jump in on Facebook, 100.7 The Viper. Share the show. Give us a call, 636-695-2915. It's a Friday, The Edge, the fastest 2 hours of morning talk radio. Eric, that's already an hour down.
What?
How about that? An hour!
And Eric was here for 48 minutes of it.
We're going to come back and do it again. For Eric Johnson, Brendan Shanahan in for Chris today. I'm Vic Faust with Fox 2. Stick around. Let's have some more fun. Happy Friday, people. It's November 5th. Back with your morning headlines as well.
Good morning. Morning. Good morning, and a special good morning to you this morning.
Be informed.
Well, who is it?
The Edge Morning Show. If you want the best, don't settle for the rest. Come to F&S. F&S Collision Repair provides the best customer service, quality of work, paint color match, and paintless dent repair. They do it all. No job too big or too small. Just what your car or truck ordered. F&S Collision. Call today to schedule your appointment and get that car repaired. F&S Collision Repair.
Hi, this is Conrad Bellman, Bellman's Car Connection in St. Peters. There's a reason we've been in business for over 50 years. It's because we listen to you, our customers. Having the best selection in town might be another reason we've been in business for so long. Over 150 used quality vehicles at one easy-to-get-to location. Priced to sell quickly. So come to Bellman's Car Connection in St. Peters, where you'll never pay the max. At the corner of Highway 70 and 370, or on the web at carnection.com.
Don't let a wet basement or foundation problems destroy the value of your property. Get a free estimate from Woods Basement Systems to fix the wall crack, bowing wall, and leaks and restore the value of your home. Plus, get the security of the Woods Basement Systems transferable warranty. Call Woods, the highest rated, most reviewed contractor for all things basementy at 888-900-1721. Special offer online at viperbasements.com. That's viperbasements.com.
You can frame the future with Habitat for Humanity of St. Charles County on Saturday, November 13th at 6 p.m. The Habitat Homecoming event includes dinner, beverages, and a fun holiday auction featuring raffle baskets and professionally decorated holiday trees and wreaths. Sponsorships on many levels are available. Go to events on our Facebook page or at habitatstcharles.org. That's habitatstcharles.org.
My stomach.
Don't worry, I've got you covered.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. What's that?
It's Pepto-Bismol Chews.
Pepto-Bismol's in a chew?
Yeah, they taste great and provide fast relief. And you can always have Pepto-Bismol handy.
Ooh, let me try it.
Try Pepto-Bismol Chews for fast relief.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hi, it's Julie again with Ben's Moving and Storage in Wentzville, Missouri, located at the intersection of Wilmer Road and Interstate Drive. We offer on-site security and 24/7 access. We are proud to have served as your one-stop shop for all your moving and storage needs since 1984. Right now, we are offering $25 off moving or a free month storage for new customers. For more information, visit us at bensmovingandstorage.com and don't forget to follow us on Facebook for future storage sales. Ben's Moving and Storage in Wentzville.
Now another hour of The Edge Morning Show on KFNS Troy St. Charles. The Edge Morning Show.
People's Bank and Trust is helping you get a grip on your finances with our new mobile banking service. You can now manage your accounts, check balances, transfer funds, and pay bills all from the palm of your hand. Visit us online at www.pbtc.net for more information and to start using mobile banking. People's Bank and Trust, hometown banking the way it should be. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Viper Weather with legendary chief meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, this is Viper meteorologist Dave Murray with my Friday and weekend forecast. Another pretty day, but a chilly day. Lots of sunshine, certainly cold going out the door again. 55 will do it for the high this afternoon. Tonight, clear skies and cold, but not as cold. 36 will do it for the low. Then on Saturday, lots of sunshine. Obviously a chilly start, but 59 in the afternoon on Saturday. Sunday looks gorgeous. Sunny and 68 on Sunday afternoon. Don't forget the time change weekend is this weekend. We fall back 1 hour. That means sunset on Sunday is going to be about 4:55 in the afternoon. That will get our attention. From the Viper Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray. Now back to the Edge on 100.7, The Viper.
Whipper River Electric, a Touchstone Energy cooperative. The Edge Morning Show.
Local headlines now with Fox 2's Vic Faust.
Hey guys, happy Friday. November 5th is our day. Here's a look at your morning headlines brought to you by Playoff Sports Bar and Grill on Highway KM 364 in O'Fallon. With the best happy hour in town, Mike has great wings, burgers, and all the sports you can handle inside, patio and takeout, all that dining at Playoffs in O'Fallon, Missouri. Speaking of playoffs, that's exactly where I think the Blues will be this year, in a very good spot if they continue like they are. 7-1-1. After a late-night win against San Jose last night, they get the victory 5-3 despite having 4 players out and a third-string goalie. Blues rocking and rolling so far. They'll continue their West Coast road trip on Sunday with 2 more games there. Not every day you see this, but shots fired right next to Ladue High School last night. Springwood Street, to be exact. Shell casings found on the ground. Shots were heard. Witnesses say they haven't seen that since the neighborhood began in 1967. Missouri and 10 other states are filing suit against President Joe Biden's business vaccine mandate, which is forcing businesses of 100 employees or more to get all employees vaccinated. One violation of doing that would cost a business in upwards of $14,000 per incident. Mercy Hospital, we just talked with Dr. David Tannehill, who's in charge of a few of the ICUs with Mercy. They're beginning to vaccinate children today, ages 5 to 11. Certainly a controversial topic around whether people are or choosing not to do that. Also, a hearing's being held today for the man accused of killing Pontoon Beach police officer Tyler Timmons. There was a big support at Pizza World for him and his family last night that was held in Granite City. So special thanks to everybody who came out and did everything that they possibly could do with that. Missouri's Education Department helping school districts with vaccine clinics if they need. They're just supposed to contact the state if they need some help with that as well. And when it comes to a national standpoint today, top House Democrats say that they will have enough votes to pass both the bipartisan infrastructure bill and the massive reconciliation plan today. Republicans say they have the votes that it will not pass. I guess we'll sit back and see. That's a look at your morning headlines. I'm Vic Faust.
The Edge Morning Show.
And now your starting lineup.
The devil himself.
I get running with the devil. Really?
That's what
The devil.
You wanted it.
No.
That's what you wanted.
It was a joke.
Jokes don't fly here. Trust me.
Really?
Read the Facebook page sometime.
Last hour. I mean, I had Snoop Dogg.
You're talking to the mic. You
I
know
was
you know
ready
how to
for
broadcast.
this. Hold on. All right, we'll go this then.
Do we have John's mic popped up too?
Probably not. You might have it now.
Okay, there he goes.
Look out.
That's what you wanted that one?
No. Pimp juice? Really?
This is country grammar.
I get country grammar.
You get a little
juice,
Nelly.
all.
You're not from St. Louis, but you kind of are now.
I like this.
Ladies
I'm
and
not from
gentlemen,
St. Louis.
welcome
I'm born
back.
and raised in St. Louis, dude.
Welcome back to The Edge. Eric Johnson, Brendan Shanahan in for Chris. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. And the John Parker joining us in studio. He has asked before and offered up his time, as busy as he is, to come in studio. So it was a Friday. We thought it'd be a great opportunity for John to come in. We'll talk some issues. John has thrown his name out to try to help the city of St. Louis as he sees fit. And he told us a little bit about this earlier in the week. To be St. Louis mayor at some point in time. We won't talk a lot about that, but we will introduce John. Good to see you in person. You look very nice. You dressed up for the show, I see.
No, he didn't. He just down.
The best dressed person ever in this studio.
This is like his. He sleeps in that.
I am. I have meetings off and on today, so I needed to get up and get moving a little bit this morning.
Okay, well.
So, yeah, it happens. I don't. I know I don't sleep in suits.
You should. You should. You look very dapper. You look like you know what you're talking about.
Well, yeah. Sometimes looks are deceiving. So we'll see.
Well, John, tell us quickly then, what's the latest for people who may not have been listening to us, what's the latest with your campaign? Why you want to be St. Louis mayor and your chances of winning?
Well, I don't worry about the chances of winning. I wouldn't have gotten into it if I didn't think I could win. Not that I'm a pretty competitive person myself.
Yes.
So if I decide to get into a campaign or a race or any type of competition, I'm going to get into it with the intention of winning. So.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, what do you think Tashar? I mean, why are you running? Do you think Tashar's not checking some boxes?
Well, again, I don't.
And as John talks, we're going to fix his lever, his mic. We're very
I
so
feel
people
like
can hear his voice.
I'm looking at the wall.
That's on purpose.
Don't worry about that.
We want you to face the corner, John.
Eric, this is a lot different than the older days when we were doing radio.
I understand.
That's a little bit better.
I understand.
That. Okay, we all good.
This isn't Clear Channel. This is not.
This is your pretty suit.
Oh, yeah. back to the days with the Sports Mayhem USA.
Yeah.
There we go. There's the John Parker we know.
No,
All
no,
right,
just
John,
I was
sorry
just,
to interrupt you.
No, I was just asking John. It's like if I thought someone was doing a good job in a position, I wouldn't run against him. Do you think Tashar is doing a bad job already?
Here's the thing. I'm not going to I'm not going to make my campaign about.
You're going to have to eventually.
No, I don't.
And the last two candidates, they didn't do that. They
I'm
didn't
not
go
going
after
to,
each
I
other.
will never attack her. Tashar has a way of doing things, a philosophy of what she wants to get done, and I have a different one. And I'm not going to downplay hers. I'm not going to attack hers. I'm not going down that road. Nothing good can come of that. First of all, she's got a way of doing things. I think I have a different way of doing things. I think my way would work better for the city, and that's why I got into this thing. So Tashar's she wants to save North St. Louis, and I'm all for that. Okay, that is one of her major focuses is saving North St. Louis. It will be a focus of mine also, but we have different ways of doing it. So,
Sure. Let me ask you a
That's how we'll
question.
go.
I've always wondered this. Was there ever a time in St. Louis's history, since you were alive, or maybe before, that you thought, this is the emerald of the Midwest. This is a great city. Was there ever a time when you thought, St. Louis rocks? I can't wait to get out. I feel safe in it. The Cardinals, the Cardiac Cardinals, the Blues, blah, blah, whatever, the St. Louis Symphony. Was there ever a time when you're like, we got to get back to that?
Well, there was a time. I think there's some things that we need to get back to, but you have to understand the history of the city, and the history of St. Louis is it's volatile.
It hasn't always been that way.
Well, it depending on who you are and where you've lived and what you've experienced. Okay, I mean, have the Cardinals been great, and have there been some great experiences with the Cardinals and the Blues and all that good stuff? Yeah, there have been. Was there a time when Washington Avenue was up and rocking?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, there was. But I can also remember when Washington Avenue looked like Berlin after the war, before it was up and rocking. There was a time when Soulard was busy. The West End was an incredible place. You could be walking up and down Euclid and go in and out of, bars. They were just next to each other all the time. And most of those places are gone. There's a lot of empty storefronts up and down Euclid and in the West End now. So, yes, there was a time. Is there a time we can get back to? I'm not sure if we ever get back to anything. I think we move forward and we start to build. We not only build, but rebuild in certain areas. So,
well, John, Eric said yesterday he doesn't see racism anymore.
Boy, why don't we just jump right into it? Huh?
Well, it's 9:08, and I know how fast time goes because I'm the clock keeper, and I have to look at that stuff.
Okay.
And it's not easy. Eric said that yesterday, and I said I disagree a little bit. You've gotten on me in the past for saying
no, take that back.
No,
I'm
let
not
me finish.
getting on you. I'm trying to
educate
you. I'm not getting on you. I'm not getting on Eric. I think people are entitled to their opinions. People are entitled to what they feel. And a lot of that is based on your own experience.
Exactly. And that's what I was getting ready to ask you about.
One of the things we have to get to in this country, and I'm not going to tell you that racism doesn't exist because it sure as heck does, okay? But we need to get to a point, not only in the St. Louis area, but in this country, where we stop talking about race and we begin to talk about culture, okay? Right now in the city of St. Louis, there are 139 cultures that speak 236 different languages, okay? We need to get away from talking about race and as fast as we can. And, folks, it's not going to happen in my lifetime.
But that would be great.
I think that's the point.
My question
you just made our point.
Great. But, folks, again, as I said before, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die.
But you know what, John?
Eric, I haven't even had a chance to ask my question yet. He interrupted me, so I'm letting him finish.
Racism,
don't interrupt me.
And then I'm asking the question.
Racism is in full effect in not only in the St. Louis area, but in this country. Okay, systemic racism exists, and this is where I'm trying to get you guys to understand that there's a big difference between racism and prejudice, okay? Systemic racism is a system. It's set up the same way socialism is or capitalism is. Those are systems, okay? Anybody on the planet has the capability of being prejudiced. And folks, like it or not, the four guys that are sitting in this room right now are all prejudiced against something or somebody, okay?
Asparagus.
Well, it's okay. We can call it that. I mean,
no, seriously, asparagus. Literally.
I'm good with that, okay? But we all are, okay? Inherently, we just are. But racism is about power. It's about position, okay? Everybody has the capability of being prejudiced, mean, ignorant, stupid about something. But when you get into racism, systemic racism, you're talking about being able to control things, to be in a position where you can change people's lifestyles, where you can tell them where they can live and where they can't live, how much money they can borrow, if they can borrow money, things like that. When you're getting into changing people's lifestyles, now you're getting into racism. So when you say that everybody has racism or everybody is racist, no, just because something happens that's a racial act does not make it racism. It makes it prejudice. If it's racism, it has to have the ability to control the lifestyle of what someone is doing.
And that's
Okay.
something that really you should be shouting from the rooftops because
I have.
because there's so many people that don't understand the difference, and there's
Right.
a wholehearted, complete difference, like you say.
Yeah.
There's somebody might not like something, and they would be called racist, but that's more of a prejudice.
Racism is not. It's no longer 5 guys in the back of a pickup truck riding around with a Confederate flag screaming the N-word. Okay, that's a racist act, and it's very prejudicial. Okay, but that one act does not have the ability to change someone's lifestyle. Does not tell people where they can live or when they
I
can go to
disagree.
school.
I'm hearing you, brother, and I understand that this country was mired in racism. My family's from Southern Georgia. I don't know if I've seen it.
Congratulations.
I thought your family was from Seattle and Maryland
No,
Heights
I lived in
and
Seattle,
Texas,
but no,
and California and Florida.
Actually, it was Blitch, Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
as south as you can get. I got a chance to walk through Andersonville and see the prison out there for the Civil War. I've walked through what racism really was in this country. It's not today. I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of African Americans that are taking advantage of the Republican Party. We saw it in this last election. She just called you guys out. What was her name? Sears, the lieutenant governor. Winsome Sears. She basically said, "You guys are nuts. This is the land of opportunity. I had the opportunity, and I made the best of it." So the problem that I have with it's rhetoric, because I feel like everyone that you're trying to protect, they don't need protection anymore.
Well, exactly.
They have opportunity to go to college.
But Eric,
they have opportunity to
exactly
get whatever
who am I
job they
trying
want.
Who am I trying to protect?
You're trying to protect a community, a race.
Right now, I'm not trying to protect anybody. I was answering a question. I'm not trying to protect anybody.
But I want you to get
No,
past.
Vic he never asked the question.
Yeah, just screw me. F all y'all today.
Why-
I'm out of here. I got to leave early.
There are people in the Chinese people. The Chinese people they don't need to use the word racism. Japanese people. My old business partner was a Japanese. He's a minority here in the United States. Why don't they shout from the rooftops, racism? No, because they kind of make their own way. They don't have a pity party on themselves, and they take every opportunity they can.
You're right, but Japanese people have not been in this country as long as Africa.
We interned them in World War II.
Hang on, Eric. No, if you're going to do this, let me get
Okay,
into
go
it.
ahead. I'm just
okay. Japanese people have not been in this country as long as African Americans. Okay, that's one. Two, the cultural difference in what's going on in this country. You have to first go back into history. You have to look at history, and this is also a country that's never been held accountable for the treatment of its own citizens. Okay, can we all acknowledge that the country's never been held accountable?
Who cares? It's
Well,
over.
No, you have to care about that.
Why? I don't understand. Today is today. Tomorrow's tomorrow. Yesterday was yesterday.
If there's no accountability, then there's no reconciliation. Okay.
We don't need to reconcile what our past was.
Oh yeah, you do.
Why?
The country needs to reconcile what the
I think
past
that
is.
President Johnson helped reconcile that.
How did he do that?
How did he do that?
Yeah.
With the civil rights marches back in the '60s, they made huge leaps.
Eric,
I mean, you have affirmative action. You have all kinds of programs.
Then these were American citizens? First of all, okay. Why would you have to have a Civil Rights Act for Americans? These are people who were already born and raised in this country that didn't have rights when they were born.
I
and
think
raised.
I'm agreeing with you to a certain level that there were problems in this country, and we've kind of come up through those problems. And you don't
think they still exist.
I think that in your mind you want them to exist.
Eric,
I don't
not
look.
in
Some
my
of them.
mind. I live this
I know.
every day, Eric.
Some of
okay?
the most.
I've given you the story.
I
on
have
Red
been
Line.
on a yacht.
I've given you the
If
story on
there's-
Red Line.
Okay, if there's a, I understand the story. I've literally been on a yacht from a guy just like us that came from no means in Seattle, Washington, in Puget Sound. He had probably a $3 million yacht off of a business he started off of the opportunity. That's the key word, the opportunity to be successful. He would look at you and said, "You're nuts." He really would. If he said, "I don't like these race baiters. I don't like these
for
guys."
the record, everybody doesn't get those same
Why not?
opportunities.
Why
Because-
not?
I mean, Vic, help me out here.
Well, here's what it is. I'm writing down all the questions that people want me to ask you, John. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Listen.
7 questions
we
to get to at some
So let me
point.
just, before you get to the questions, let me just finish up. So
ahead.
you think that not every African American has the same opportunity. They just cherry pick one African American here, one here or there.
First of all, nobody gets cherry picked. Okay, let me ask you this, Eric. Let me ask you a question. Okay, let me make this statement to you. Just look at it from a banking standpoint, and we'll just stay within the financial district. Okay, right now in this country, black people have the ability to get a car loan, a house loan, okay, even a school loan. But you know what the most difficult thing for a black person to get in this country is? A business loan. That's one reason you have, listen to me, let me finish. That's one reason
business plan that makes money is going to get money.
No, it doesn't always do that. Why do you think there are so many mom and pop little convenience stores in low income neighborhoods? Okay? Because they're starting these businesses with their own money because you can't. It's very, very difficult in this country, and there's not a banker.
And putting a business plan together is difficult as well.
There's not a bank in the country that's going to tell you that it's easy for a black person to get a business loan in this country because it's very, very difficult. Okay, and there are black Republicans that I know that I am friends with, very good friends with, that will tell you the exact same thing. The most difficult loan in this country to get for a black person is a business loan.
I've heard it as well.
Banks do not.
I can't speak to that. I don't understand it because
that's right there. Stop right there.
Because you're not black.
Said it. Yeah, you just said it.
Right.
You don't understand.
But there's no proof of it. I mean, you're not going to get a banker on going, absolutely not. We're not giving loans to African Americans.
Because racism is virtually impossible to prove. Okay? It's virtually impossible to prove. You can't go out and prove racism. It's
John,
very
from the
difficult.
Facebook line, Steven says, well, you also need to recognize, John, that every white person does not have the same opportunities as black people.
What opportunities do they not have?
White people don't have a caucus. They don't have organizations. Stephen, so if you want to go ahead and add to that, please do, so we can ask John the question as well.
So
I'm assuming.
So you're assuming that black people all vote the same way and move.
Yes,
the same.
they do.
No, they don't.
It's changing, but they do.
No, they don't, Eric. Black people, they're black. What are we?
How come the Democrats look at you as a complete voter block and they take you guys for granted?
Listen,
serious question. Serious, do you understand?
During an election, both sides take black people as.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they
Everybody is courting the black vote during an election.
I think that is the most. That's the. I think that's the worst part.
This is
of
why
that community.
I
do.
This is why I hate political parties.
John, how would you? This is, I think, a fair question. Robert wants to know, how would you know the race of the loan and who it's for? Then,
because on the loan application they ask you.
I
race.
don't think they do anymore.
Oh, yes, they do.
Let's call Bank of America immediately.
Job applications. If race wasn't a factor, then take it off of every.
I don't think it is.
Then why is it on every application?
I'm going to find that out.
I could have stopped and picked up a bank loan application for you. On every application in this country, they're still asking race.
Do you think it's okay for companies now to diversify, and if they're asking for race, to not hire white people who are qualified for jobs over black people who are qualified?
Personally, I think you take race off the application completely.
Kind of like that
I
idea.
would agree with that.
I like that. See, we disagree.
It should all be like the Masked Singer.
If we want to be qualified, if you're trying to hire qualified people,
right?
But here's what happens with that. Okay, and there have been tests and studies on this, that when a person puts their name on the application, okay, you might hire Mary Smith, but you might not hire LaQuisha Jones, okay, because she just put her name on there.
What?
Eric, this is why you don't understand this. Okay,
so the name.
Help me out.
No, I get it. Absolutely.
Well, then,
but I don't have any.
Because people.
How do you identify who's the application
really?
for?
How many white girls you know named LaQuisha?
Oh, that's that.
How many?
I don't know.
I'm
any.
just asking. I know a lot of white. I know a lot of sisters named Mary.
So Karen.
Do you know any LaQuishas though?
I do.
How many?
I don't know. A dozen?
Do you know any Karen Smiths?
Get out of here! You
Wanna
know,
bet? At
you
least
know
a
a dozen LaQuishas.
At least, listen. I grew up in Ferguson, Missouri, where LaQuishas were all over.
Mark Harris says
my
they
dad
will...
was a chief of police in Kinlock. I knew a lot of LaQuishas, man.
Mark Harris says black people can get a $50,000 car loan, but not a $50,000 business loan.
And he's exactly right,
dude. But let me just stop.
That's because they can repo your car.
Let me stop. I'm an entrepreneur. I've gone through this process. I've gone through this process probably 30 times. Of the 30, I was turned down 29. On the 30th one, I got a pretty sizable loan to start a company in Seattle. So I'm in the same boat with them. I did a business plan. I did the whole 9 yards, the whole rigmarole. As a matter of fact, the one that gave me the loan set me up with a business partner that was going to make it successful. Dude, getting a business loan is not the easiest thing on the planet for anybody.
Eric,
Anybody.
And Eric, I'm happy it worked out for you. Believe me, I'm happy for anybody who can get one.
I'm just saying that let's
He
not
has a $3 million yacht.
Let's not look at a business loan as a barometer
Eric,
for making your case.
I'm trying to tell you there is a difference, and you may not want to understand that, and you can't understand that. You just can't.
Jeannie Graham says,
And
as
it's
a white
okay.
woman, I couldn't get a business loan either. I did not have experience in the field I was going into. We had to draw from our retirement fund and put our house up to go into business. And we're white.
Okay.
What should we be mad about?
Preach.
Is foreigners coming into our country and getting money to start businesses.
And let me tell you why that is. Okay, because when they come into the country, they may not be citizens of the country. They can get a work visa or whatever. They can get a business loan, but here's what happens: if they mess up, you know what happens? They get deported. If I mess up,
okay, it sounds logical to me.
But here's the thing: where are you going to send black people? We are born and raised here. You can't kick us out.
No. First of all,
if you can't kick us out, then you're not going to give us the ability to sustain ourselves.
In my opinion, getting in my opinion, and let's move on because this is
we got 3 minutes left in this segment.
But in
Make
my
sure we get
opinion,
football in here too now.
Good, yeah. Oh, we can talk about that.
Oh yeah. By the way, we all have to. Warren Powers passed away on Tuesday, guys.
Former
I did
Missouri
not
football
know that.
coach.
Yes,
That's
passed
sad.
away. His funeral was November 17th. I worked with Warren. Was recruited by Warren, and Coach Powers was a great guy.
Yes, he was.
He a fantastic guy.
Let me
Three more people say, as white men, we couldn't get business loans. They don't understand your point.
Okay.
Here, let me say this:
bad for them.
a business loan from a bank is probably the worst thing you can do to start a business. Anyway, moving on.
And you know what? I would agree. I would agree with you.
If you're an entrepreneur, you don't look at banks as making yourself successful.
Yeah, having dealt with Skank of America, I understand.
And community banks are a lot better to go to, by the way.
Credit unions.
We might have time for you to answer this question that we got in before the first break, and we'll try to get to more of them after the break as well. Do you find that Cori Bush says racist or prejudiced things against white people?
I'll be honest with you. I don't even pay attention to Cori Bush. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
She called Manchin anti-black because he didn't like the infrastructure plan or think it was responsible for America.
Then Manchin has a problem with her. Okay.
No, he doesn't. You ever see? I don't think he knows her.
Then Manchin may or may not have a problem with her. I don't know.
I think
I don't really have anything. I don't listen to Cori.
You have to
No,
because
I don't.
she's our girl.
No, I don't.
She's
No,
our girl
she's
here in
not my
St.
girl.
Louis.
No,
Yeah.
she's not. She is a congressman.
Well, she represents us.
Listen, she is a congressman.
She's in D.C.
And just like any other congressman or
We'll break in a
senator,
minute here, Eric.
they all have their own agenda in Washington. I don't have any interest in getting involved in Washington politics. We are going to deal with whatever Washington deals us. Okay, that's all. That's the way it's always going to be.
No, you got to take note,
Well,
man.
I'm not getting involved in that. Cori's going to.
Well, if you have to, I mean, if it's just, but we're just having a beer. We're having a beer.
Tashara has her back.
I don't, and good for her.
Okay.
Good
So
for her.
what I'm hearing is you're not in love with Cori Bush.
I'm not interested in Washington politics.
You have to have an opinion.
Why? Why?
Because she says some wacky ass crap.
I'm interested in the city of St. Louis. I could care less what the senators and congressmen, folks, anybody. First of all, I don't trust anybody that makes $140,000 a year and ends up being worth $50 million. I don't get that. Okay?
That's a great point.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm not trusting anybody.
I can appreciate the fact that you want to keep it local. This is what you're dealing with. You're
I'm
not
worried
dealing
about
with
St. Louis. I'm not worried about what's going on in Washington, D.C. and what they're voting for. Because whatever they're voting for, we're going to have to deal with anyway, okay? Good or bad.
Yeah.
So Cori's got her agenda, and whatever, all senators, they have their agendas, and let them do their little boondoggle fighting back and forth. I'm not interested in that. Democrats, liberals, Republicans, progressives, I think if we get rid of the extremes on both ends, the people right there closer to the middle, you can actually get some things done. Okay. If we could get the people on the outside
Which
to
includes
shut the hell up.
Which includes Cori Bush.
That's John. That's
She
John
might be one.
Parker.
She might be one.
He's running for St. Louis City
I'm not
Mayor.
going to say that.
We got to take a break. We'll get to. We got so many topics to get into. If you have a question, let us know on Facebook 100.7 The Viper. If you want to give us a call, you can do that as well. The phone number is 636-695-2915. Brendan likes the text as well. That's 352-88-VIPER. You can also catch us at viperrocks.com. Eric Johnson, Brendan Shanahan for Chris. I'm Vic Faust with Fox 2. John Parker's here. And, John, you better believe we're going to talk CRT because Eric can't wait to talk to you about this.
It's exciting.
CRT
Super
got
exciting.
a resounding no in Virginia.
The boogeyman. Here we go
I
again.
got a resounding no
Gotta
in
jump
Virginia.
on the boogeyman. You know, what's the other boogeyman? Black Lives Matter?
I've also been asked, I got to
the
ask
Boogeyman
you
Brothers.
about the Cal Rittenhouse case. Only one black juror.
Yeah. But you can't call those people victims, right?
But
You
it
know,
was
they got
only
murdered.
white. It was only a white shooter and white people who were shot. We'll get into all of this
But
coming
let's not
up.
call them victims.
Back with more of the fastest 2 hours of Morning Talk Radio right after this.
Grab your coffee. The Morning Edge will be right back on 100.7 The Viper.
Cleanliness and safety are essential to the success of any business. That's why Cintas has introduced our Total Clean program, a one-of-a-kind service that includes scheduled deliveries of essential cleaning supplies, hygienically cleaned uniforms, and on-site sanitizer and disinfectant services to help eliminate germs. Learn what the Cintas Total Clean program can do for you.
Oh, I'm ready.
Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Get a grip on your finances with People's Bank and Trust's new mobile banking service. You can now manage your accounts, check balances, transfer funds, and pay bills with ease and all from the palm of your hand. Activate your phone today by visiting us online at www.pbtc.net. People's Bank and Trust. Hometown banking the way it should be. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Kick off your holidays with Habitat for Humanity of St. Charles County at the Frame the Future Gala on Saturday, November 13th at 6 p.m. The Festive Habitat Homecoming event includes dinner, beverages, and the opportunity to bid on a raffle basket or professionally decorated holiday tree or wreath. Sponsorships on many levels are available. To learn more, go to events on our Facebook page or at habitatstcharles.org. That's habitatstcharles.org.
Who plans for a stroke? We do. At Barnes Jewish St. Peter's Hospital, we're educating the community and developing new ways to reduce the impact of strokes. In partnership with Washington University physicians, we're the only ones in St. Charles County using thrombectomy, an interventional procedure to treat strokes that's fast, safe, and gets patients back to their lives. When it comes to stroke care, we're your best medicine, close to home. To learn more about symptoms and treatments for stroke, visit bjsph.org/stroke.
Start with everyone with a brand new puppy they cannot leave home alone. And there he is now, disemboweling a sofa. Now narrow it to the puppy parents who need to get their prescriptions refilled today. For you, there's Walgreens same-day prescription delivery. Medication sent right to your door from the local Walgreens you already know and trust. So you can spend all day at home teaching your new puppy some manners. Elroy, roll over. Or just sit there and tilt your head. Aw. To join, text JOIN-RX to 21525.
Maureen saved big shopping epic daily deals at Amazon. So now she's free to become Maureen the Merrier. And with her brand new tableware, everyone's welcome at Maureen's table. All of her family, friends, even her neighbor with the pet. Hey, has anyone seen a ferret around here? Found it. Dig into Amazon's epic daily deals. Spend less, smile more.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents
And Doug.
And we're back with Limu, Emu, and Doug for the final question. Category is things you climb. All right, Limu, what do you think? You sure? We're going with Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. Oh, so close. We were looking for stairs. Huh. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Dateline St. Louis. Authorities have linked recent disappearances to infamous serial killer Eli Cobb.
Eli Cobb is back at the Cobb Factory.
Knock, knock!
And he's taken over Main Street in Old Monroe.
Do you believe in the boogeyman? Come out, wherever you are.
The Cobb Factory. Don't miss the terrifying all-new 3D experience. For discount coupons, go to iQuitVapor, A&W, Long John Silver's, and Spirit Halloween stores. For more info, go to PanicFest.com. Now open weekends. Now, back to the Edge Morning Show.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Brendan Shanahan putting the mood in place.
This is his song. He said he can sing this
Do
song.
it right now.
Yeah. Really?
You're not going to put him on the spot, are you?
Really?
Come on.
That's the intro.
That's true.
That's the
He
intro.
can't sing to the intro.
You don't sing to the intro.
Well, you talk
That
up
would
until
be-
the intro hits.
That would be offensive to the late Ronnie Van Zant. Okay?
The time now, 9:32. That's John Parker. We're in talking
Really?
a bunch of different issues.
Really?
What?
Okay. Train roll on.
Oh, damn.
Turn that off, Brendan, right now. I'm not going any farther.
Look, you want to be a Republican. You can feel it. You can,
Really?
John,
Because I like Skinner?
You wake up, you wake up every morning conflicted, looking in the mirror going,
Conflicted.
I look like
His
a
car is
Republican.
painted like the General Lee out there.
No.
John,
No.
I
It's
think
the blue Mercedes, not the General Lee.
Right. With the Confederate flag.
It
John,
does say
I-
rage on the plate
Southern
still.
by the grace of God on the bumper
Oh
sticker.
my God, Eric! John said that I think you wake up every morning conflicted. We got John Parker in the studio. He's running for St. Louis mayor. We're talking a bunch of different issues, and specifically when it comes to race relations, how things go, truths that he sees that maybe other people don't or aren't recognizing. One of the issues, just because out of an issue of time, we'll get right to it. Eric, most days on this show, is livid about anything, quote, CRT. I'm not even sure exactly what CRT is. I haven't seen anybody, quote, define it yet. But I did get a question that was asked, like, gosh, you've got to ask John to explain this.
Why?
If John doesn't, and this was the question for you, if you believe that CRT or the principles are not being taught in public schools, is that safe to say?
First of all, you just said it. Nobody really knows what CRT is.
Then why are so many Democrats infuriated that I'm trying to stop it from being taught in schools?
Because I don't think CRT is what they're trying to teach. I think what they're trying to teach is actual history and true history, not CRT. Okay, critical race theory. I don't even know what it is. I mean, it was being taught in law schools and graduate schools, but I've never.
Okay, is it safe to say that maybe it filtered down into high school, into junior high school?
Well, I think accurate history has filtered down into high schools over the last 50 years, and we've gotten away from the ridiculous belief that Christopher Columbus discovered America, things like that. I mean, there's a lot of actual truths that have come through. Okay, for instance, Jack Daniels wasn't made by a white guy named Jack Daniels. Okay,
I didn't know that.
It was an African American.
I didn't know that.
Black dude
See,
made
I
that.
learned something new every day.
And guess what? And Jack Daniels finally came to terms with that in the last 2 or 3 years and gave that family a label, Uncle Nearest. And they started making Uncle Nearest bourbon.
And guess who's going to go buy some this weekend? I am.
It should.
If it's good, it's good.
Right. And it is really good. Trust me. And not saying that I'm a big drinker, but yeah, I like bourbon.
Here's the deal, and let me just bubble back
It's
around to
about
CRT
accurate
before.
history is all it is.
No, it's not.
I mean,
no,
yes,
it's
it
not.
is.
No.
No.
Okay, hold on, John.
The boogeyman comes out.
Hold on,
There we
John.
go.
If world history is a lot different than American history,
Absolutely.
I think there are some lessons that haven't been taught about how the slaves were put on boats by Africans, brought over here as a commodity. That is a very interesting story. It's a crappy part of our history. And I think that we immediately, when it happened, there's a lot of Americans that saw that as not something that we wanted to do. And from that point forward, there's a lot of Americans that were trying to break that apart. It filtered into the country for maybe 100 years, you would agree. And then we did it ourselves. We were the only country on the planet to say this is an abomination. It's wrong. We're done with it. We even fought ourselves, and we killed more people in this country in the name of racism and in slavery to abolish it than anyone in the world did. So that's a good story, right?
You mean about half the country did that?
Correct.
Okay.
And it showed that we have our rights from God, and that's why this happened, is because we had a country, a constitution that kind of was in conflict with itself. And it's ridiculous to say that Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, Washington, all these guys who did have slaves, these were the guys that ended slavery for the most part. They put it in motion. And that's the history.
Well, let's back up now.
No, it's the truth.
Abraham
it's the
Lincoln
truth.
may have. Thomas Jefferson didn't. I mean,
sure he did. He was conflicted with slavery as well.
I think we should ask his descendants of Sally Hemings. Hemings
I'm not saying that
if he did start that.
I'm not saying that these guys were angels, but they started a country. They started a country with a constitution that immediately was in conflict with racism.
Right.
Immediately.
It was in conflict because, let's just be honest, the Constitution was not written for people of color. It didn't have nothing to do with people
It doesn't
of color.
really matter.
Well, it does matter.
It doesn't matter because that same thing that was written, John, listen to me.
Let him say it.
The
I just want to hear this.
Constitution
Let's hear
was
John
not
say
written
this.
for black people.
All men are created equal.
And
That's there you
when
go.
the Constitution was written, I was not a man. I was a commodity.
Fair.
I was an animal. I was nothing more than a piece of cattle. Okay,
Correct.
That's all I was.
But if it wasn't for that piece of paper, John,
the Constitution
right?
was not written for black people. Now we've had to live by it as we've gotten older because although it wasn't written for us, we have to abide by the rules. But I've always said this, and even when I was a football coach, I didn't make a lot of rules for my football team. You know why? Because if you make 10 rules, there are 50 loopholes to every single rule. Okay, the Constitution, you've got 25 amendments, and here we go. With all of these amendments, you've got so many loopholes. For instance, the 13th Amendment. If you read the entire amendment, you became free unless you were convicted of a crime. Okay? What was the number one crime after the 13th Amendment?
No idea.
Vagrancy.
Okay.
Because when all these people are free, they have nowhere to go. Now you lock them back up and you start now the prison pipeline, the prison work system.
Let me tell you something else. If that piece of paper that was written, this is an analyzation that is like through political science all across the board, and no one disagrees with this. If Thomas Jefferson, and all the people that signed the Declaration of Independence, if they would have put freeing the slaves in that document, it would have never have flown. So they did it in a methodical step. They said all men are created equal. They never put anything about slavery or slave owners in there, and they had to go one step at a time. They had to fight King George first, and then they took care of business about 90 years later.
So later on, you have to.
But would you agree with that? I mean, that's not debatable. That's
Thomas
not debatable.
Jefferson included in his first draft of the bill writes that King George brought the inhumane act of slavery here. He tried to end slavery, but knew he could not get 13 colonies together.
My point is this.
Comes from Nick Schroer, who said that. And the other part of it, Jefferson included all men are created equal, all men, and had other items in our founding documents all colonies could agree to, which led to the end of slavery, whereby New England and other northern states used to end slavery before England did.
That is not unfair.
Really?
That's not unfair.
So it wasn't unfair that human beings weren't considered human beings because they weren't. When they wrote the document,
we agree together on this one, by the way.
When they wrote the document, either we're human or we're not human.
Yeah.
Okay. There's no 1/3, which is what I was in the document. Okay.
I understand how this is I do. I get it. I understand.
Listen, that's either you are or you're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, but hold on,
John.
Hold on,
to
John.
make everybody
hold on,
feel
John.
happy.
Hold on.
Either I'm free,
You're right.
or I'm not. Either I'm a person,
I would
or
say
I'm not.
African Americans. Let me just talk for just a second.
And that's a stickler with black people. Okay.
African Americans got the worst of it.
It's a stickler.
Right.
That's a stickler, right?
African Americans got the worst of it, but Irish Americans, indentured servants that came over from Europe,
who could work their way out of slavery,
but never did.
Who could work their way out of.
But they never did.
I was not even a person then. You have to understand that. They were at least people. They were indentured servants. They were people. I was considered a piece of
But we're
property.
okay, but all right, but you're not
Okay.
now.
No,
And this is look, we're talking about ancient history. It's ancient history.
Really?
We did, but the in my eyes, the good news is, John, we're the ones that fixed it.
Well,
We fixed it ourselves. We didn't wait for Germany to fix it for us. We didn't wait for China to say, "Hey, this racism thing that sucks."
Eric, it's
No,
not fixed.
we the people fixed
It's
it.
not fixed.
John, why
Eric.
have Asians had success in this country as a minority then?
Honestly, because
That's a question from the Facebook
Ooh,
Live.
good point.
I'll answer it.
Asians
Because-
right now are the
because-
number one earning ethnic group. The number two earning ethnic group are Indian.
And I say this, with all due respect to the Asian community. The one thing that the Asian community has done is they've really stuck to themselves. They have created their own communities. They've community
Right.
They've community
Infrastructures, too.
Yeah, and they've created systems that work for their community.
And they don't blame other
Well,
people.
hang on, Eric. They may not be blamed. There's no reason to blame other people because Asian people, the Asian communities, have more than completely, segregated themselves from every other community.
Wouldn't you?
Okay, well, hold on.
I know.
Hold on a second. Eric.
Understand.
Here it comes,
No,
Eric. I already know where this is going.
Drum roll.
But you have to understand, there's a difference between segregation and assimilation, okay? Segregation, you separated us, but you still wanted us to wanted black people and people of color to behave like the normal society.
What does that mean?
This is what...
That is a bunch of garbage.
No,
I have
Eric, now, listen. Now you feel the way you feel, and the way you feel, I would never say it's garbage because you know what it is. It's
from
exactly
my-
the way you feel. I ain't got no problem with that. What you don't seem to understand is you don't get this because you don't walk around in the shoes of a black person. You don't, and there's going to be a lot of things. There are a lot of things about every other culture that I don't get. You know why? Because I'm not a member of their culture. There's certain things I'm never going to understand, okay? And it's okay. I'm still working to try and understand. I'm not shutting it off. I definitely want to understand it because I think at some point in time, we will be able to, not in my lifetime, not in our lifetime, it's not going to happen.
John,
But
how
I
would you
hope
stop
we could
black
get this
on,
up.
black on black crime in the city? These
Well,
are
first
questions
of all, I'd
from
stop
Facebook.
labeling it black on black crime and I'd
And
attack
why
crime.
why is that?
I'd stop calling it black on black crime and attack it as crime. It's
Yes.
crime.
Right.
It's crime.
That's a great
Yeah.
point.
All right.
So it's not black on black crime.
we
It's
just-
crime.
but how do
Okay?
you
Hold
do
on,
that?
Brendan.
Crime affects every community. And let me tell you something. 86% of all heinous crimes in the black community happen in the black community. Guess what? It's the same number for the white community. But nobody talks about white on white crime. It's just
I'm
simply
gonna agree with you there.
crime. It's crime. Crime is committed in your own community. People from North St. Louis do not drive to Chesterfield
Actually,
to
the
kill
data
somebody.
is wrong. You're
They
wrong.
don't.
It's wrong. It is you talk to any police officer in this area, and they'll say it came from this
Well, they're
area.
not
and this
coming
area.
here to kill people.
They're
They're
not.
coming.
I don't know about the killing.
People from North
It's-
St.
I
Louis
said
are coming
heinous
to
crimes.
St. Louis, St. Charles
listen,
to rob.
and you get
Right.
you got white folks driving to North St. Louis to buy drugs. Okay, so what? It's crime.
That's a fact.
The idea is this: I want to curb crime. I don't want to curb black on black crime. I want to curb crime.
Okay,
period.
stop. Now, let's get into the tactical because no one in this room has disagreed on that point. You nailed it. I'm sure that you don't like going down Highway 70 at 1 a.m. getting shot at, and
Well,
it
I
has
haven't
happened.
Been shot at 1 o'clock in
Well,
the morning. You
or-
been shot at 1 o'clock in the morning?
I have been on Highway 70 at 1 a.m.
Have you been shot at 1?
If you consider a car going 200 miles an
That's
hour past
200
me,
miles
that's
an hour.
that's
Did somebody
all right. Let's
shoot
just
at
go
you?
there.
Let's get to the fact.
Well,
Did
let's
somebody
just
shoot at you?
well, let's go to the fact. Go to Fox 2 now and see about how many news stories we can have of random shootings on. Anyway,
I've
let
seen
me.
car chases down 70 in Wentzville.
And guess where
Give
they're
me a
going?
break.
They're going
No,
last week.
I've seen car chases
That's
going
true.
west on 70.
All right,
okay,
stop.
Where people have been pulled over in Wentzville.
Well, you're not
okay?
running for mayor of St. Charles. You're running for mayor
I'm
of St.
not-
Louis.
But
what is
if
it?
listen, you ain't gonna do that now. You ain't gonna back me into
Hold
a
on.
corner on that. If you've been shot at on 70, I want to know about it, and you should go report that.
I don't like the lawless nature of St. Louis. Period.
I don't like
ca-
the
I mean,
lawless nature of the country.
okay. Ooh, I like
Okay.
I'm going to vote for that.
How do you fix the educational system then and the family system? Because I think you've said that before on this show. that it is deteriorated and not a good situation in St. Louis City?
Well, it's not a good situation in the country.
We know that, but you're
Okay.
running for mayor of St. Louis.
I agree with you. Okay.
How do you fix that? Because we already know St. Louis is number one
Am I gonna
for homicides.
It's number one for crime. Period.
Yes.
Right now, okay. My idea of fixing one, and I've told you this before, and you and I've had this conversation. I believe that people in North St. Louis and the people that I've talked to in North St. Louis, the people I've canvassed already, they want more police officers. They want to feel safe. And if you want, and listen, don't give me the other boogeyman phrase of defund the police.
But let's acknowledge.
Eric, let him finish.
But let him acknowledge.
Police officers. I don't believe in police officers having a $400,000 heavily armed SUV to protect the Pumpkin Festival. Okay, I want police.
What if there's shootings at the Pumpkin Festival?
Okay, I want police officers to have every piece of equipment that they absolutely have to have to control crime in any area.
Including facial recognition drones, including cameras.
Nah, I'm not getting into that stuff.
We have to eventually.
I'm not getting into that stuff.
So that's a no.
Okay, I'm not getting into that. Okay,
Sounds like a
I
good
didn't
idea to
tell
me.
you no. I didn't say no. I said I'm not getting into that. I want them to have the equipment that they need, the emergency equipment that they have to have. I want more police officers. I want beat cops.
Did you hear that? He wants more police.
So do you think they
I
made
want-
the wrong decision getting rid of cops down in St. Louis?
I don't think they.
Kim Gardner's doing a bad job.
Okay, I'm not getting into the judicial system. Okay, because I'm not in control of the judicial system.
That's why people run for office.
No, as the mayor, you think the mayor gets to pick the next judge?
Help me out,
No,
Vic.
he doesn't.
Vic, is that true or not? I don't even know.
The mayor does not.
And Kim
That's an
Gardner has
elected person.
Kim Gardner has nothing to
That's
do with
an
it.
elected person.
But what the mayor
I'm not
can
in charge of Kim Gardner.
But the boss of Kim Gardner's the mayor,
No,
correct?
the boss of Kim Gardner is not the mayor.
She doesn't. No, that's
she is an
that's,
elected official.
No,
okay?
there's no. That goes to the Missouri. Oh, it's the.
It's a circuit court.
Whoever it
The
is,
circuit court.
she's got to go. She's got to
The
go.
mayor's got nothing to do with that.
Okay, let me.
Okay,
I hear you. Let me just. I love you to death.
I'm gonna
I love you to death.
As mayor.
John
you
says
ha-
he wants more police, and people in North St. Louis told him they want more police.
Yes,
there you
people
go.
But he's him
feel
hawing.
safe.
I love.
I'm not going to him haw.
I love.
I'm answering your questions, but you're asking me about Kim Gardner.
But
Kim is
okay.
a-
But can I say?
I'm not. Here's the thing about my answers. You're never going to get me to get emotional or feeling.
I'm trying to
about
get you
it. I
emotional.
am going straight by the book with these. Okay, I'm not in charge of the circuit court.
Okay.
Or who the judge is or who the prosecuting attorney is. And if they would like to vote Kim in or out, that is on them, not on
It's
me.
all politics at one point. But let me ask you this. So the reason I bring up Kim Gardner is because part of it is that's an applause line for you. More cops in St. Louis, absolutely, no one would disagree. The second part of fighting crime in St. Louis is not having a revolving door for these criminals. That the prosecutor's office is actually one of the most important parts of this. If you commit said crime in this said city, you will not get out of said jail until your court date. If you carjack someone, you will not have bond, or your bond will be so high you can't afford it. If you commit a murder, you will never get out of this jail. If you shoot at somebody, don't you think that the prosecutor's office should be so hardcore right now and so tough that it makes people go, yeah, I'm not going to go rob that store over there?
Here's what I want.
Just answer that first.
Here's my opinion of the prosecutor's office. I want the prosecutor to walk the letter of the law. That's what I wanted to do. Okay?
I don't understand what that means.
That's exactly.
Can you say
what it
you
means.
want a strong prosecutor or a weak prosecutor?
I want her to handle things by the letter of the law.
Do you think she's doing that now?
I think she's doing it now.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, we got to disagree on that
Well,
one.
we can disagree.
We can
on
move
it.
on to another subject.
I
now,
want
Vic.
her to walk the line and handle things by the letter of the law, because I don't ever want this to ever be looked at.
Don't you think that these
I don't
criminals
want
need
us to ever be-
consequences?
Listen, there are consequences.
There
but
are?
I want her to handle things by the letter of the law, because I don't want us to be looked at as a corrupt city. I don't want us to go from being the most dangerous city to being the most corrupt city. I don't want that. Okay? I don't want
Vic,
that.
don't look at me that way.
No, I mean, you may get your you may get your point because Kim Gardner's still facing some serious issues.
Exactly.
And Kim Gardner may be her license may be suspended.
And that has nothing to do with the mayor's
That
office.
could very well
has
happen
absolutely
for
nothing
what
to do with
happened in the
mayor's
Greitens case. That has not gone away.
This is why I say I'm not interested. I mean, I don't have any. I'm interested in the city of St. Louis. What Cori Bush does, what Kim Gardner does, what those folks do, they're going to do those things. I'm going to, as mayor, the mayor has an agenda that they have to take care of. I don't have time or effort to put into something that I can't control.
Right.
Okay.
Do you understand I'm trying to help you? Do you understand that I'm over here going, you have a problem that 100 more cops is not going to fix?
Everybody wants to help everything. Okay.
We are.
And I have a plan. Believe me, I have a plan.
If you think that St. Charles doesn't look at St.
I'm
Louis
not
as
looking at
its
St.
big
Charles. We had
sister,
this conversation. St. Charles has a totally different dynamic than the city of
we
St.
have
Louis.
a lot of money
I
to
don't
bring
care.
to you.
Okay, what? Really?
We have a lot of money
Really?
to come and spend at your baseball games and at the hockey games
Not
and go
your
to the
baseball games because I don't own the Cardinals either. Okay?
Well, it brings money to the
Well,
city.
Then come on. But how about this? When you get done with a baseball game, go eat at a restaurant. All right? How about that? Instead of burning up the highway to get back across the bridge.
We would if we didn't think our cars were going to get broken into.
Listen, again, you asked me how I would do policing, how I want to handle it. That's exactly how I'd handle it. And I want beat cops. I have a plan for that. I want beat cops. I want more of a police presence. I want downtown Nashville. Okay? I want cops passing each other on the sidewalks because there are so many police officers down there that everybody feels safe.
Okay.
And when we start downtown, I want to slowly go north and south.
What's your
Let's start at the arch.
Let's. We
That's
got to take
to
a
me,
break.
That's downtown. I agree
Yeah.
with you.
Eric Johnson, Brendan Shanahan, John Parker in studio, running for St. Louis mayor, talking some race issues, talking crime, you name it. We got one more segment. Don't go anywhere. We come back. We'll talk all about it. Thanks again. Happy Friday. It's November 5th. The time is 9:52.
What is...
The Edge Morning Show. Back in a moment.
Ah, there's no place like Panera, where a bite of the toasty, saucy Chipotle chicken avocado melt tastes like, focaccia. A cool and refreshing strawberry poppy seed salad al fresco is so sweet. And a cheesy Chipotle chicken and bacon flatbread pizza in your favorite booth feels just right. So treat yourself, because there's no place like Panera. Order on the app today. Restrictions apply. Visit PaneraBread.com.
Hey, it's Shanny from the Legendary Lunch, and I'll tell you what, this has been such an amazing football season so far. So many great games, so many great plays that you don't want to miss a single snap. And Mascots Bar and Grill has you covered for that. They get every single game every Sunday. They have NFL Sunday Ticket, and they've got some of the best food around. Enjoy your Sunday game day at Mascots. Play in the Bags tournament out front. Come inside, watch all the games. Keep track of all your fantasy players. It is so much fun at Mascots on a Sunday. You won't want to miss it. And if you tell them you're FOS, you're a friend of Shanny's, you can get that legendary lunch special all day long, $5 for a big old burger and fries. It is so delicious, and you don't have to do the dishes. Hang out every night of the week if you want. Come play rock and roll bingo, and you can win some great prizes at Mascots Bar and Grill, 4881 Mexico Road in St. Peters. Mascots, home of the legendary lunch special.
ABC Wednesday. Your favorite artists are back together for country music's biggest night.
This is incredible.
The CMA Awards, with performances by country's biggest stars. Eric Church, Miranda Lambert, Jimmy Allen, Blake Shelton, and collaborations you'll only see here. Jason Aldean and Carrie Underwood, Chris Young with Kane Brown. Luke Bryan hosts the CMA Awards live Wednesday, 8/7 Central on ABC, and stream next day on Hulu.
Hi, everybody. It's Brian Dawson with Brian Dawson Roofing. Fall's coming up. With all the leaves, those gutters get filled up, and those leaves don't get flushed out. What they do is they get packed in that downspout hole, and and makes a dam, and that gutter just fills up and comes back on the fascia board. We get a lot of calls whenever there's an ice storm, or if it's a snowstorm, it gets up underneath the shingles.
Brian Dawson Roofing offers high-quality work performed by qualified professionals.
Visit BrianDawsonRoofing.com or call 636-465-9465.
My daughter used to be a shining star. I would tell her, there's nothing you can't do. Now, it's like living with a stranger. It happens so fast. Centerpoint Hospital, real help for addiction and hope for a bright future.
If a young person dear to you is facing substance use, the Changing Point at Centerpoint Hospital now offers adolescent treatment solutions with detox, 4-week residential, and outpatient treatment. The Changing Point for adolescents at Centerpoint Hospital. Hope for a bright future.
Spectrum Glass is known for their quality work on windshields, but they do so much more. Spectrum Glass also specializes in residential, commercial, and automotive window tinting. Reduce the heat, reduce the fading, and increase your comfort with professional window tinting from Spectrum Glass. Serving St. Charles and surrounding counties since 1995, Spectrum Glass is still your premier company for windshield replacement. And with free mobile service, they come to you. 636-294-1800 on Facebook and SpectrumGlassOnline.com.
Dateline St. Louis. Authorities have linked recent disappearances to infamous serial killer Eli Cobb.
Eli Cobb is back at the Cobb Factory.
Knock, knock!
And he's taken over Main Street in Old Monroe.
Do you believe in the boogeyman?
Enter if you dare, but pray for a way out. From the moment you enter, you'll be lost in a sea of darkness, scratching and clawing to find your way out, trying to avoid the clutches of local serial killer Eli Cobb. Grab your ticket at the train station for a one-way ride to hell.
Come out, wherever you are.
The Cobb Factory. Don't miss the terrifying all-new 3D experience, taking your fears to a whole new dimension. For discount coupons, go to iQuitVapor, A&W, Long John Silver's, and Spirit Halloween stores. For more info, go to PanicFest.com. Now open weekends.
Are you a business owner looking for funding? Greenbox Capital is here to help by providing easy working capital loans in as little as 24 hours. Visit greenboxcapital.com/apply now to fill out a short form and get started today. With funding from $3,000 to $500,000, Greenbox Capital can help. Visit greenboxcapital.com/apply now to receive a special offer of 10% off cost of working capital. Greenboxcapital.com/apply now and get business funding needed without stress from traditional lenders. Greenboxcapital.com/apply now. Fast funding for small businesses.
Here comes more of the Edge Morning Show.
Brendan always knows how to make the music topical. A revolution is in the house with John Parker. Big Faust had to step out. Brendan's still here with us, spinning the tunes. Man, I hate this part of the show because I still have so many questions and we only have like 1 minute.
We could go another 3 hours on this one.
And for all the
Chris
people,
would be pissed if we did.
Hey,
that.
I know who's up.
You think?
I'm well aware whose show is next, so we can go as long as you want.
Chris would be pissed if we just kept going. Wait.
John Parker has professional karaoke to get to in Nashville, Tennessee.
No, there's no karaoke tonight, buddy. Oh God, no! I'm with the band tonight.
Yeah, well,
absolutely.
Well, thanks for chiming in with us on Facebook, and I hope you don't care that we bust you. Hey, we had
talk football though.
We had Drew Collins call in the other day. Did you hear him?
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it.
He was very reasonable. He was awesome to talk to. And I think that we get pissed off at each other a lot.
We're all reasonable.
But you know what I found out today is we agree on a lot of stuff.
Listen,
we agree
I
on a lot of stuff.
I think there's a lot of folks that are moving in the same direction. Some people are taking different roads to get to the same spot. And I think at the end of the day, and I've said this before on the show, there are more things that bind us than tear us apart. I really do.
That
at
is
the
true.
End of the day, I believe that.
Come back and let's talk about football
Absolutely.
next time. That's John Parker, Brendan Shanahan, I'm Eric Johnson. Vic Faust will be back on Monday. Thank you very much for listening, and have a great weekend, everyone. You're listening to The Edge.
FNS FM, Troy, St. Charles, and the Westplex. 100.7 FM, The Viper. Legendary rock that really rocks.